So how many days a week should you be training your horse and working with your horse if you want to get results? That is a great question, and it's a question that so many riders ask all of the time. Well, today we're going to explore that for you and your horse, because at the end of the day, it's one of those questions where the answer is, it depends. Okay, let's dive in. Hey there, and welcome to the Daily Strides podcast. My name is Lorna Leeson. I'm an equestrian trainer and coach, and I've been here on this podcast for 10 years now, helping riders all over the world to, understand things a little bit better and also gain a little bit of momentum in their training as well. And that's just it. Isn't momentum really key when it comes to doing anything? Have you noticed how when you start doing something first, and luckily for this, okay, if it's something you enjoy, you have this initial enthusiasm that'll kind of get you over the first couple of hurdles. And then after a while, a bit of maybe bad luck comes into it, or something comes in that conflicts with it, or whatever the case is, and it begins to get a little bit tougher to actually get the thing done. Well, that's where momentum will help you. And this is what we need to start thinking about when we're focusing on working with our horse. How many days a week will really and truly give you momentum in your training, in your program, in your riding, so that when the little things, the challenges that inevitably always show up with horses do actually show up, you're going to be able to actually get over them, okay? It's like you've got this little bit of extra boost there, hit the turbo booster button, and there you go, you fly over them, okay? I think that's really important. So what we want to do is, I think first and foremost, you need to look at your schedule, okay? Now, I do think that you need to start this, and we need to start this conversation from where you are right now, right this moment. So right now, at this moment in time, okay, if we looked over the past week and if we look at the coming week, how many days could you realistically ride your horse each week? And you see, this is a really important question because, and this is me being really honest with you right now, so many riders will kind of look at this with rose-tinted glasses. Oh no, I can definitely do 4 days a week. In fact, if I cut out this and I stop doing that and I swap that for that and I do this and I do that and do the other, then I could definitely ride 4 days a week. Hey, I could even do 6. Okay. And it's good to be enthusiastic, but we also need to be realistic, okay? You have to look at your current time, your values, your responsibilities, your energy levels. You need to look at all these, and you need to begin from the perspective that you're riding your horse or working with your horse is actually going to fit in with all these, complement them even, okay? It's going to all work together instead of kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're all the time robbing time from somewhere else to do something else, okay? So keep that in mind. If you feel that horse riding is causing a lot of tension in your already packed schedule, okay, you're going to drop it. You'll end up dropping it. And if you don't drop it, you'll drop something else. And that something else may cause then more friction and more tension in your life. So it is important to actually start there to begin with. I know it's not very fancy, but there you go. That's the long and the short of it. Okay, the second thing to consider is your horse. Now, some horses, let's be honest, they require more repetition and consistency than others, okay? A good way to test this would be to ask yourself, if I missed, let's say, 7 days of riding, okay, if I hadn't worked with my horse in 7 days, what would happen? Would I just be able to pick up where I left off? Or would I feel that I have to go back almost 2 weeks in the training to actually get back to where we were before the break? And this is very, very true. It's very real. And it's important to understand that your horse is an individual. And that if you're trying to create something that's going to help your horse, support your horse and benefit your horse, you need to factor him into it, okay? It's very, very important. I also think factors such as your horse's age, maybe the breed or the type of horse, the condition that your horse is in, previous training, and also his personality or her personality, okay? They all have an important role to play when it comes to you deciding. So take it all into account when you're actually making your decision for you and your horse. Okay, the next factor that I think will help you to come up with something that's going to be unique for you and your horse and suit you and your horse when it comes to how many days a week should you ride is your riding level. Now, just like your horse, you are also unique. There you go, okay? Do you require 3 days to recover from maybe a particularly taxing ride, okay? Or do you actually thrive on consistency, repeating new things until they stick, okay? I would also consider into this your fitness levels. Are you trying to increase it? If so, it makes sense to ride more frequently, okay? But maybe shorter sessions might be better, because if your physical fitness is not where you would like it to be, longer ones are usually a little bit of a, fool's errand. You'll end up that your body just gets tired and everything becomes a little bit sloppy, okay? Meaning your aids and everything, you kind of lack clarity with that. So it is important to kind of understand all of this about yourself. Remember, the lack of fitness, it is going to impact coordination and the clarity of the aids. So it really and truly makes sense to increase your riding fitness quickly. As quickly as possible initially. And that could mean riding more, so more frequently, but shorter periods, okay? Keep that in mind. And then your goals, what are your goals? I think at the end of the day, this will also play a big part of it. If you're working towards something specific, so maybe it's a 15-kilometer trail ride, or you want to jump a meter track, okay, of fences, clear, okay? You will have to obviously tailor what you're doing with your horse depending on where your outcome and what you want to do, so that you and your horse are actually ready for that, okay? I do think that a lot of riders are simply just riding to develop their own skills and deepen their bond. And that's perfect. That's also a goal. So if that's the case, how often, again, that consistency, does that play a big role? Do you and your horse do better when you have a rhythm and when you're in the rhythm of these things happen consistently? But whatever your goals are, it makes logical sense that more riding time will help you get there more quickly. So it is always something to consider as well, okay? Now, if at the end of the day you're like, I just don't know, I don't know how many, I love just this is a really simple kind of a piece of advice I would give you. 4 is better than 3. Well, 4 is more than 3. Might not be better, but it's certainly more, okay? Meaning that if you could ride your horse 4 days a week, you're winning. 4 days a week means 16 days a month, which is more than half. And I feel that that is truly a realistic number of rides per month to help you begin to see progress, okay? Now, obviously, if you can only ride for 2 days a week, or if you can only ride for 1 day a week, do what you can do. And if you do find yourself with a week or two in between where things just are a little bit hectic and you have other responsibilities and you're just not getting to ride, just accept it for what it is. There's no point in coming down on yourself like a ton of bricks and hammering yourself about it. Just say, okay, that happened. If it were to happen again, would there be anything I could do to mitigate it slightly? And then from there, just move on, keep moving forward. I think that is the key part of this. It's something that I want you to take with, that when you are making these decisions, you have to just keep moving forward with your horse, okay? So when I am actually going through this process, like step by step with riders, I actually get them to have a look at their previous weeks. We kind of touched on it quickly, but have a look at the previous few weeks, have a look at what's coming up. And then again, noticing where your values are and understanding what's important to you. So for example, if your family is really important, you don't want to take time from your family to ride the horse, because at the end of the day, those two things are going to rub up against each other. And, I'd say it would make a fair amount of sense to say that the horse riding is the one that's going to be on the losing end of that stick, okay? So you want to make sure that your schedule, that whatever you come to, whatever you choose, really and truly works for you and your horse, okay? I would also similarly say that once you've got yourself sorted out, it is really important to bring the horse into it. Like if you've a very young horse, very green, just backed, or maybe just back into work after a big long break, okay, years and years and years, back into work, I think if you're only riding once a week, that may be a little unfair to then expect to see a huge amount of progress with your horse. Remember, it is that repetitive nature and that consistency of doing something again and again and again, that good quality practice, okay, that's going to make the difference. So it is important to factor that in to make sure that you can make time for it. And then just back to your goals, okay, so we said about your goals and what they are. I think as well here you need to be realistic. Like if your goal is to go eventing, you're going to have to be riding a fair amount of days a week, okay? I don't know if 4 days a week would be enough. I would suggest 5 or 6 days a week if you're going eventing, okay? If you're wanting to do show jumping, depending on the level you want to go at, but again, you do need to be riding more. However, what's really important with these two elements is that sometimes we think all we need to do is be jumping or be cantering across fields. No. Okay, you have to have this like mixture of work coming into it, and this is where creating the plan for you and your horse is going to be really important as well. But knowing the goal that you're chasing, knowing the goal that you're going after is a key part in this as well. If you would like to gain more clarity on this for you and your horse and actually get somebody with you every week checking in and saying, hey, did you do that? Did you do what you said you were going to do? And if you didn't, why not? And what's going wrong? And how do you need more support? I am really strongly urging you to go check out Homeschooling Your Horse. It's my brand new program. We're going to kick it off in early September. I'm so excited. We're taking a limited number of riders. I'm going to be working with them personally myself to help get them going with their horse. It's suitable for you if you're keen to learn more about how to really get into the nuts and bolts of training your horse correctly for whatever discipline you want to get into, but you're keen to do it the right way, to build that foundation that you and your horse can really and truly move forward with, and also that you can gain some clarity from it for moving on afterwards as well. I am so keen to work with these riders. It's going to include a lot of mixture of a lot of different things. If you want more information and you're interested, go over to homeschoolingyourhorse.com. All the details are there, and you can also sign up there as well. I just can't wait to get into this. I think it's going to be the best program I've done so far. So I hope that if you're interested, you'll join me over there. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Have a super day. Keep well, and I'll chat to you soon. Be good. Bye.